Hello, everyone, and welcome back. Hope you do a little bit more networking in the 15 minutes we had, and hope you're able to grab lunch or coffee or something. We now move on to the next segment of today, and which is showcasing some of the tech solutions that the UK and Africa has to offer. And we'll be hearing from a number of companies that are doing innovative things on the continent and in UK. We would be playing videos because of time, but a number of them would also be joining us after the video play for a quick fireside chat to basically understand what their solution is about and how they are progressing in the markets they operate. So the videos will be playing shortly after now. They would be playing. We would play 7, then we'd have a quick fireside chat, then another 6 videos, and we'll have another quick fireside chat after that. So it might take a slight delay before each video plays. It's not a technology challenge. It's just giving time for people's systems to the technology and make sure the videos play on everybody's system. What system you're using. So thank you, everyone, and stay tuned. Excellent. So we've just seen 6 very innovative companies from both the UK and Africa, and I'll be joined by some of the promoters of these companies for a quick fireside chat before we play another set of 6 companies and have another quick fireside chat. I'll be joined by Dr. Karim.
How are you?
Ellen. I'm very well, Dr. Karim. Nice to have you.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
Yeah, you're welcome. I'll also be joined by Ellen and George. Hi, George. Welcome on board.
Thanks, Lami, and thank you for inviting us to this great event and platform. We hope to make.
Yeah, awesome. While we wait for Ellen to join, I think we'll just dive into it. So I've been receiving questions from some of the members of the audience, and one that stands out is basically what advice can you guys that have already set up your fintech businesses give to startup fintechs on how to go about setting up and how to go about starting their business, given all that we see in Africa today. Dr. Karim, do you want to do a response to that first?
Yeah, sure. Thank you very much, Lami, for inviting me. First of all, fintech market is growing since the last decade, and as we see far, it is almost like 5% or 10% of the opportunities that we can have from fintech. This means that a lot of R&Ds are working, and a lot of knowledge and a lot of technologies can be developed to serve fintech. In Africa, mainly we suffer mainly lack of funding, lack of finance, lack of access to banking services. We have over 60% of unbanked clients in Egypt, for as instance, which is opening a lot of opportunities for us. Mainly, I would recommend whomever looking for to invest in such type of industry is to go fast, because this industry is still a version, still an opportunity. opportunity to access this market is still somehow easy. Try to get advantage from your country regulations to understand the regulation in your country, regulatory body, to see what is their requirements, to try to get funding as much as possible. It is not an easy to start such type of business. Also try to provide something new, because most of the fintechs that have started mainly focused on types of payments and collection, and still nobody have get inside in crowdfunding, blockchains, and so on. All of this are still virgin in our continent. So go for R&Ds, assess your market, assess your opportunities, try to get advice from listeners that have been done in other nations like in US, Europe, UK, and other countries. We see also that it is not a closed industry to Europe and US, because as we see in China and India, it is the most fast growing market. So I believe it is a very potential opportunity, especially for innovators, especially for entrepreneurs. You can put your own ideas, assess your markets, assess your community needs. Start by the small communities like SMEs, like the people who are not engaged in banking and services. All of this will give you an unreached market and will give you a lot of opportunity. I hope I answered somehow your question.
Dr. Amza, and it's interesting that innovation keeps coming up and the need for startups to be quite innovative in the solutions they offer, and I think that's key. But coming home to national systems and what you do, will be nice to understand a little bit more about the market you play in and what your expansion plans are globally.
Okay. National system, we started in 2014. Mainly we focused on consulting and working with financial institutions, mainly in data analytic and data visualizations. As soon we entered with giving advisory to government and to financial institution, we started to find an opportunity to go in the fintech industry. There we make products and we started to help new companies in entering such type of industry, and we started to assess our own opportunities. So currently we are developing a product regarding to fintech in order to help SMEs to be engaged in such type of industry, helping them in crowdfunding. And then we are helping informal economy companies to start to join such type of economy by using the fintech technology. Of course, we are aligning with different government agencies and regulatory body in order to align with sustainable development strategy. We are planning to expand our products in fintechs, especially for the Egyptian market. Also, we are hoping to extend regionally, mainly for Arab countries in the region, Middle East, by cooperating with different companies and partners in UK and Europe. We are hoping also if we have to have a joint opportunity in Africa, because we still see that Africa will be one of the most fresh markets and fast growing markets globally, and still a lot of opportunity for development and innovation.
Okay, thank you. And from my own interactions with a lot of fintech players and those that want to get into the ecosystem, one of the biggest issues is part of what was mentioned at the earlier panel session: regulation. Basically, regulators not keeping pace with the level of innovation we're beginning to see. And for me, I would want to find out your own, and I'm sure others too want to find out what your experience has been with the regulators in Egypt, and how you think the UK can support in helping to make things a little bit better, even though we're doing a lot of work already with respect to supporting regulators and helping set up regulatory sandboxes and stuff of that nature. But what do you think we should be doing more? Over to you.
In our case, I consider ourselves lucky, because in Egypt we have the FRA, or Financial Regulatory Authority, And a part of the financial inclusion strategy in Egypt is to develop regulations to be able to adapt with international standards, including the fintechs. So they're starting to provide new regulations, help new startups and new companies to focus on the fintech in order to help informal economy to be engaged in the formal economy. Because as I think Egypt, as most of African country, you have a big percent of informal economy who are not engaged with banking systems and financial institutions and so on. So the FRA is helping to develop such type of regulation. On the other hand, we have the Central Bank of Egypt. They have their own bank for helping fintech technologies. They are putting almost like $1.5 billion for investments in these sectors. Currently in Egypt, we have around 22 companies who are working in the fintech who have just started in less than 10 years. Two of them, their capital now is exceeding 1 billion Egyptian pounds, which is almost like $200 million, which is considered a very fast growing technology companies. We are trying as national system to work as an advisory bodies to different government agencies, including the FRA and central bank, in order to facilitate new companies to enter such type of industry. Of course, if you look to the crowdfunding still doesn't have a regulatory framework that help new companies to work in this environment. But still, there is a big demand in Egypt for such type of services because currently the interest that the bank provided is started to be decreased. And a lot of stakeholders and clients are thinking of how we can use our money or pension money to be used to have a better flow of interest or a better flow of revenue in a way that is somehow regulated and guaranteed. So this is how we are trying to push in the area of the crowdfunding because we see it is a lot of opportunity. We are trying to focus on SMEs and how we can help them in the Egyptian market. Also trying to help the government in how to engage the informal economy to start to be part of the formal economy. I think the regulations will be developed sooner or later, either we like it or not, in order to match the fintech industry. The only challenge now is cryptocurrency. Still, it is banned in Egypt, it's not allowed. But I don't think it will be a challenge in the future.
Thank you, Dr. Karim. And before we round up this fireside chat and play the next batch of pitch videos, I think my final bit will be the last end of my question, which is, what do you think the UK can be doing better? Both the UK public and private sector fintech players be doing better to work with Africa on its fintech journey?
UK have a lot of opportunity either on the private sector or the public sector because you have technology, you have a lot of developed companies, so have a lot of segments and so on. You have a developed market in Europe and UK. But by maintaining relations or cooperations between the government level and the private sector level in Africa, they will open new markets for them. If you look as an instant, Egypt is over 100 million population, which is almost 28% of North Africa and Middle East. 60% of them are not covered by the banking services. So all of this is considered an opportunity for UK companies. So, and now the cooperation or the political environment between Egypt and UK or most of the African countries and UK, I think it is in a way it can open more better trade or more better international or economical relations between UK and Africa. So expanding and investing in African companies, either our partnership or seed fundings or sharing R&Ds or sharing on innovations will open for UK companies, either on a government level or on a private sector level, a market that is not easy to underestimate, because still a lot of investment are open here, and still a lot of business in opportunity here are open. UK has the trust, has a good name, and have a lot of good infrastructures that can be used. So my recommendation is to build network with private sectors and new companies in Africa, gives them an opportunity like seed funds or angel fundings, gives them opportunity to have access to R&Ds, share with them technologies, try to take the risk to enter the African market. I think this will be a quick win for everybody, either for the private sectors in UK and Africa, or either for the government relations between UK and African governments. And I still think this will be the fast-growing economy market in the coming 10 years.
Thank you very much, Dr. Hamza, and totally spot on. Totally spot on. We have a wealth of solutions in the fintech space and financial and professional services space generally, and essentially that's why we're having this event, to explore those kind of partnerships that will lead to mutual benefits. So we'll now go on to playing the next batch of videos, and after that we'll have another quick fireside chat. Thank you, Dr. again, and
thank you very much.
Chatting up with you later.
Thank you.
Yeah, there you go. Another wonderful set of companies innovating in both the UK and Africa. And I have Mohamed Ali Belajuza and Taha Kabani present for the quick fireside chat now.
Hi.
Hi, Mohamed. Welcome on board. Very well, thank you. Let's wait for Taha to join. Hi, Taha. How are you doing?
How are you?
Very well. So I'll start with very interesting solutions you have in the insurance space, and basically trying to prevent fraud in your city. Well, I'd like to find out from you. Do you have competition in your market, or you're the only player there? And it'll be interesting to know, if you do have competition, how you've dealt with the competitive environment over there.
Actually, we have competition, and I see having competition as a result to client gaining, I would say, consciousness about a problem. So we are glad to have competition, and I think that having competition, even in a small market, is something healthy for startup. It helps promote the problem, and it helps convince client. So I guess it's healthy.
Awesome. Mohamed, same thing, same question to you. Well, what's the competitive environment over there, and how have you dealt with it?
Actually, the past days we were working in a competitive area, but we have pivoted to work on social impact, and our buyer persona today is NGOs. And we cannot call this competition, as there is a huge space to work with these guys. And NGOs are down for these kind of pilots, since we have been selected with the UNICEF Innovation Program in Tunisia and the World Food Program in Libya to start piloting with beneficiaries and with value that has to be sent to these poor people that need to eat or need good health, you know. So no, we are not in a competitive space. We are in a very, very highly regulated space, and this is one of the biggest pain we have to go through, but it's necessary pain, since we are disrupting like the old way of doing things, sending consultants in the field and all that. So yeah, I don't see a lot of competition in what we're doing, but there are bigger challenges that we need to go through.
Awesome. And I think the next thing I want to delve into is what almost everybody is asking, which is funding. How do you fund your expansion? How do you fund your startup? And how do you get things going? And I think before you get into funding, it'll be nice to find out what your expansion plans are for your current market and for the continent or even globally. And from there would then be easier to say, okay, these are the opportunities like the Global Entrepreneurs Program and stuff like that. So Taha, back to you. What are your expansion plans in your current market? And what's the plan for the continent or globally?
Actually, the plan is to go to Africa and to expand the solution into countries that are more like us in the insurance sector and in the structure of the data available in the market. But before going to investment, I would say that it would be better to look for partnership. It would be better to look for partner who can gain access to new market, who can open up new vertical to expand, and then identify the need of money. Because I remember at some point when we started Unprodded, I guess even if you could give us the money of the world, we couldn't do very much because we needed some guidance. So if I may recommend something to people is to go through acceleration program, because it can help make the company mature, and it can help open up new vertical, and it can help open up new markets. So along the money side.
Yeah, and that's a brilliant advice in terms of start with an accelerator program and stress test your offer.
Exactly.
And see if the market is there. And the UK, we have four tech hubs across the four regions of the continent, and that's a good space to start with your ideas and see what you could push. But same thing to you, Mohammed.
Actually, it was.
Go ahead.
Actually, it was our approach to discover the UK market. So we went through an acceleration program, a soft landing program called OCU ICT Market Acceleration. We had our first visit when we discovered the need of the market and assessed the specificity of insurance field in the UK. And then we talked to client and start prospecting. So I guess that's the idea.
Awesome. Thanks, Taha. Now over to you, Mohammed. As in, what are your expansion plans for the continent? Yeah,
we started piloting with big players that have a presence like Africa wide and even above. So yeah, we want to start small and think big and scale fast. This is something startups always say, have it somewhere in their mind, right? But in terms of funds, Taha and I went through the same acceleration program. We take a little bit of fun from there in different cycles. We know each other, and now we have switched to a grant-friendly business. So we need to make some traction to be able to get these grants, because we're trying to be a tech for good startup at the end of the day, and there's a lot of money that is flowing. If business-wise, it's not social impact-wise, but business-wise, there's a lot of money that is flowing for us startups that are willing to do a big social impact in the field they are working in. So yeah, I think our investment readiness are going to be through grants.
Okay, and Mohammed, I think the work your firm is doing is really commendable, because we need more tech solutions in that space, and obviously supporting that work is something critical to us. Before we wrap up this quick fireside chat, I'll ask the question almost everyone also asks, which is, what advice would you give to a tech startup in Africa with a global outlook when they're starting up?
You first, Hamdani.
No, the floor is yours, bro.
Haha.
Okay, so my advice for startup in Africa is to believe in themselves, because especially in tech field, we have an unstructured data field in Africa, yet it's still a virgin market. So we can innovate and we can help and we can be tech for good startups. So the idea is to stick with the startup plan and to push harder, because I know it's hard to start from Africa, yet it's a very great field to innovate in tech.
Awesome. Now for you, Mohammed.
Yeah, my advice is something that I have discovered. It's we need to look for Africa, since we are growing fast. It's a big continent. There is a lot of opportunity, and one of the thing, the startup has two big things that it can do. It can be a vitamin for something that already exists, and it can be a painkiller. And in Africa, we have so many pains that has to be killed. So entrepreneurs and startups should go kill these pains or relieve these before looking to Europe and whatever. And Europe is here for us, because Europe is looking to Africa as a big potential market and as the market of the future. So we have to be aware of all this and do it the way that it needs to be done.
Thank you very much, Mohammed. And I think you've taken the words right out of my mouth. So Africa definitely is the future, and we're extremely keen to be part of that future. Tech and Africa being put together as both futuristic ambitions, we see the potential, and we're certain that we will achieve the success that we all dream of for both the UK and the continent. So thank you very much, Mohammed. Thank you very much. And
thank you.
Yeah, so we've come to the end of the quick fireside chats and come to the end of the TED Talk start pitches and stuff. But tomorrow is another day, and I will be inviting my colleague Safa a quick overview of what has happened today and what to expect tomorrow. Tomorrow promises to be very exciting, and I look forward to seeing you all. So Safa, a quick roundup. Safa works out of a Morocco office, and she's been very instrumental in putting together this event today. So thank you, Safa. Over to you.
Thank you, Lami. We thank you all wholeheartedly for having joined us for the first day of the UK Africa FinTech Summit. As you may have seen, we've been greeted by our Financial and Professional Services Director for Africa from the DIT, Lami Adekola, that we hope inspired you to spot ideas of recovery in your respective markets, recalling how the FPS sector is a massive employer in the UK, and the UK tech startups are the most valuable ones in Europe. Whereas in Africa, there is an enormous potential for a tech rejuvenation. There are regulatory sandboxes almost everywhere in Africa, as well as fintech hubs, with its youthful population sparkling with its innovation, which is essential to getting things going. Then we were joined by Her Majesty's Trade Commissioner Emma Wade-Smith, who recalled that this summit is a part of a wider series of Africa Investment Conference in particular sectors and markets across Africa. She invited you to explore this sector and discover the UK offer while building new partnerships and developing new ideas. In the following session, we've had the presentation by Chris Williamson from M-Pesa, who shed the light on the fintech space and, more importantly, on M-Pesa's story and how it evolved by playing a vital role in the fintech revolution. M-Pesa presented interesting facts and figures on the sector across Africa and their core value of which benefits African countries and makes remittance more reliable. Then he was followed by Stephen Gray from the UK Export Finance, who introduced the panel to discuss the role of fintech in post-economic recovery and how technology advancements were created as a result of COVID, and how we are building back better by exploring green finance options and the role of regulators to enable fintech and protect the consumers. In that panel, we had Dora Murakshi Head of Regulatory Sandbox for Fintech at the Central Bank of Tunisia. Mylis Carraro, Managing Director of the BFA Catalyst Fund, which stands for Bankable Fund Trail Associates. Otto Williams from Visa Africa. Pavle, founder of Panave. Tayo, founder of Paga. Among the subjects discussed are restrictions around financial services, the pressure on fintech companies with regards to funding availabilities. Panelists touched based on the role of regulators with regards to the changes that were anticipated by the pandemic, which urged regulators to move faster in order to deal with the fintech evolution. One of the examples was from Tunisia, as a population of digital consumers who are ready to go digital and use online transactions to fulfill their needs. More importantly, the regulatory sandbox launched in Tunisia is already actively serving the framework to protect the consumer and ensure their service providers are ready to serve the market. Amongst the lessons learned for fintech to be successful is to pay attention to consumer needs, behaviors and expectations by making it accessible, innovative, intuitive, reliable, and secure. How urgent it is to go digital and what makes a brand trustworthy. Lastly, panelists shared with us their vision on fintech in the next 5 years. Mylis said it was on answering consumer needs. Pavle said that finance will be embedded in everyday life. Dora suggested to banks to free themselves from constraints and use technologies in a secure way. Last but not least, we've had the showcase of some of the UK companies by the Global Entrepreneurs Program led by the UK Department for International Trade, who introduced some work for global founders and how the DIT is supporting entrepreneurs and business leaders. Among the companies showcased were Truzo, based in the UK and South Africa, PiggyVest from Nigeria, National System from Egypt, Feature Space from the UK, Shamba Records, Scone from Tunisia, Frank from South Africa, Blockband, which is based in the UK, ClickPesa from Tanzania, Unfrauded from Tunisia, Flutterwave from Nigeria, who all have incredible offers and highly valuable solutions. We do hope you could establish partnerships with other present companies and that your presence was fruitful. Do not forget to email us if you have any questions, and join us again tomorrow for more interesting topics on to empower fintech across Africa. Tomorrow, we will have the honor and privilege of a keynote address by the UK Minister for Investments, Lord Grimstone, which will be followed by a panel to discuss fintech for good, to highlight the tech's role in improving financial inclusion and penetration across Africa. Afterwards, a panel session on encouraging the fintech revolution in Africa, moderated by the founder and executive director of the Cambridge Centre for Alternative Finance, Mr. Brian Chang. And again, more opportunities to network, meet new companies, and build lasting partnerships. We thank you again for your attendance, and don't forget to join us again tomorrow.